liked also how you said the three top things. So routine, mobility, and connection. Can you share a little bit more? Like it's easy to see the pie in the space, but how are you using routine with mobility and connection?
Absolutely. And what I like about this is it doesn't have to be this complex, okay, I have to do this in my personal space, I have to do this in my intimate space, and I have to do this in the workspace. You can incorporate all of these three basic routine, mobility, and connection into each of these areas of space. It's just some might look a little different, all right? Similar but different in each of the areas. So the number one thing that I always encourage people, wherever you're at, and it's exactly leads into where the message that you guys started off with this today was routine. All right, what is that? It could be waking up, not hitting that snooze button, putting, splashing the water, getting that day going, all those different kind of things. And so the one thing that I always encourage within that is to, if you haven't done this already, whether it's by computer, your phone, whether our smartphone, whether it's a actual handwritten personal calendar, whether it's writing a calendar on the wall, it's create a schedule. All right, create a schedule in the things throughout your day. But it's not just writing a schedule of things throughout your day. We also want to put stuff that we look forward to in the day. All right, because if you're like, okay, I get to look for a job. Oh, I get to go to my job that I secretly hate. Oh, that's a negative thing, and we don't want that. We want to create, especially when we talk about creating an energizing space within the workforce, within our career. We want to be able to have something that's positive. What am I looking forward to? Even if it is, I'm going to schedule in. I get to have my awesome sweet sandwich that I made, before, lunch that I get to eat, and I'm going to enjoy that. I had some awesome, tasty leftovers. Actually, I'm looking forward to having a good solid day of work and then coming home with my family and spending time with my wife, spending time with my husband, spending time with my children, spending time with all that stuff, and spending time with my own stuff, just having a chance to maybe dream a little. So we have to schedule in those things throughout the day of what we look forward to. And then that allows us to create a calendar of connections and activities that will allow us to be able to then have something to look forward to. But it also helps indirectly with some other areas, like having an internal sense of time. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but everyone I've talked to at some point in the last 3 months has gone, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what am I doing? So a calendar or a schedule is a great way to bring it back to at least, I know what day it is today. I know it's June. I know it's the 17th. I know it's 2020. Oh my gosh, we're almost done June. Are you kidding me? But at least I have a sense of time, which helps ground me. And out of that grounding leads to creating normalcy. Okay. Part of that too is that it allows us in this, the big quote, I call it the over quote. There's many of them now, but it's in our uncertain times. All right. If I hear one more commercial that says uncertain times, my pressure cooker is going to explode. Stop it. But with that, what is that about? Again, it's that control. So how can we find some ways to take control and responsibility to be able to control our environment that we're in that could be very uncomfortable with what we're dealing with right now? And if we add a schedule in our life, we can then add control. And within that routine and schedule, things like setting the alarm, actually getting up. Hey, if you got up at 6 in the morning or 8 in the morning before you go to work, keep getting up or get back into that routine. Make sure you're getting dressed. Yeah, but I'm unemployed. It doesn't matter. We got to keep routine to create normalcy. So I'm not saying you put your suit on, but I am saying don't just wear your underwear all day, wear your bathrobe or whatever. I'm saying actually dress up, and do something. And that totally leads into the next area, which is create mobility. All right. Kind of one of the jokes, I actually had a neat opportunity to talk with a student from the University of Alberta who did an interview on social isolation. That was actually kind of the big buzz pre-COVID, was there was a lot of talk about media regarding social isolation. Everyone's doing video games, doing Facebook. And here we are, ironically, we ended up having to do that in order to create a sense of connection within that stuff. But within that, we have to keep mobile and do stuff. And out of that interview, we kind of came up with a fun term. We realized, there's so much talk about, the iPhone, iMusic, whatever. Okay. But I realized it's kind of funny when you put the term mobility and put I before it, you end up with AI mobility, immobility. Okay. So we don't want to become immobile. Mobility, that is where we end up going snooze. What's the point? Unplug the phone. I'll just sit here. What do I do today? Those kind of situations. And we can end up with that in our relationships. We can end up with that at work. Oh, what do I do? I know I got stuff to do, but man, I am not motivated. And so we have to create mobility. We have to take action in what we're doing. I always like to say that one of the things that helps us with that literally is like, sometimes you just have to stand up and take 2 steps forward. Okay. If it means just standing up, take 2 steps forward, well, what's the point in that, Jeremiah? No, the thing is that you did something. You took an action of mobility from immobility to mobility. All right. If it means going out and sitting on the porch, getting some fresh air, that is way better than just lying in bed. I don't know, I'll just lay here all day. It's going, the student, I don't know what to do for this assignment. Well, start writing the title, start writing a sentence. It was the best of times. Doesn't matter. Start something. And it's amazing what happens when you just start doing something. What if I take then another step and create a momentum in my life, create momentum in my day? That's what the video is all about. The second half of it, when you create routine, is creating that mobility. It goes right into that. Splashing water in my face, that's part of routine, but it also creates a momentum to get my day going. What if I read a little bit? What if I do a little bit? And if you feel overwhelmed going, how do I do all of this in my day? Don't worry about it. Pick one thing today that you can do, even if it's as simple as stand up and take 2 steps forward. That is better, something better than nothing. It's still a form of mobility that you can create a self-win for yourself within your life to do. It also helps, right, with things like what I call the fight or flight feelings, or freeze that we sometimes deal with, especially during uncertainty. Mobility helps gain momentum, which then allows us to gain control, which then leads to more normalcy in our life. Oh my gosh, I want more normalcy in my life. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about the viewers, but that's another step, another area of control that we can take back, which we're wired for. And so also it's the other area too, I always like to add, is it's using our body to do things. So that is making sure, cooking meals, building things, taking care of our relationships, taking care of our children, those kind of situations. All right. Which then of course leads into the third point, which is creating connection. All right. Creating connection is so important. Again, it's not about just distancing ourselves, social distancing. We got to be careful not to mix that up with social isolation. All right. Because isolation is not healthy. If we are wired for control, I always like to say we are also wired for connection. We are wired for relationships. And this has been especially tough in the last 3 months. And it's still going to continue to be tough. Just because we've opened up stuff doesn't mean we still have that, oh, what if that other person, and all these little fears that kind of enter into our area. And so that's where education is very important. Even things like personal protective gear, do you know how to put your gloves on and off properly rather than just pulling it? Oh my gosh, you've defeated the whole purpose. Put the proper amount of hand sanitation on. I was amazed when this whole thing started. No one had really ever used a lot, unless you're like in the health industry, hand sanitizer. But all of a sudden people are like, bleh, bleh, bleh. And I'm like, no, it's not that using hand sanitizer is wrong, but you use too much of it. You then dry your skin. and then now you become actually potentially more at risk because of open, because of open skin sore, to potentially catch stuff. And it's like, you're actually self-defeating what you're trying to actually accomplish. So it's like a reverse engineering concept that you end up doing. And we got to be careful of that. I had not to be rude, but I had a story of an individual who observed someone who was in the washroom. They came in the washroom with gloves on, went to the washroom, came out of the washroom with the same gloves on, washed their hands with the gloves on, and then left the washroom. There is much education still needed. Okay, not to shame, not to condemn the person if they're watching it going, that's me. No, it just means that there's some amazing videos that places like Alberta Health Services, and just even type in YouTube, how to put your gloves on and off properly. It's very important so that you're not recontaminating, or the potential to recontaminate yourself. This is another area where then you can add control in your life to know that, hey, what I'm doing in my life and teaching in my family's life allows safety, which then allows me to then create routine and predictability, which then allows normalcy. Mm-hmm. And in creating that space in each of those three areas within the pie, we then now have another area. And then, before I get too off topic, is creating that connection. The awesome part, of course, with technology in the last 3 months is those who chose to embrace, even, individuals who are maybe, I would say, in their 70s plus, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't even see my grandchildren. Well, suddenly people started to learn how to use things like FaceTime, Zoom, all these different things, the meetings that we're using. I even had the opportunity, to be able to support some of my clients. They're like, I don't know how to do this. Well, let me help you. Let's do it. And then we're able to then have this medium in counseling to be able to have it. So they're not limited. And so that's been a shift where, from a connection standpoint, and I'm just speaking as a counselor now, this has been something that has been great, to be able to do, whether it's by phone, whether it's by video. My preference, of course, is video, because I'm able to see you, you're able to see me. Okay. We're able to get those facial inflections and stuff like that and know what's happening. Everyone loves the face-to-face. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, because those who deal with high issues of anxiety, this medium is actually proven to be very helpful, because if they didn't have the courage to see someone face-to-face, this creates a bit of a healthy barrier, but still connecting in a healthy way to be able to begin dealing with the more deeper rooted issues, especially if there's issues of trauma involved or whatever past circumstance or present circumstances are involved. But it allows connection. And now, of course, with the ongoing phases being lifted, using wisdom and caution and calmness and everything that we're doing in life, washing hands, wearing masks, this then allows us to then actually connect now more intimately with everyone. And then, of course, within the workspace, we're still able to do that. Now, within connection, I always like to add, we're talking about more now in the social and in workplace, but we also got to go back to that beginning part where we're creating personal space. That's the P within pie. Creating that personal space is very important. And we have to learn how to self-connect with ourselves as well. Not in a selfish way, but in a way, and maybe more of a clinical term, all right, is we want to take that emotional center part of our brain and connect it to the cognitive, logical, side of our brain, and put the two together. And one of the best ways to do this, and this is the application part, is simply by learning how to breathe. And this is the part where everyone's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yeah, it is that simple. Deep breath in, hold it. If there's a tension in my chest because I'm nervous, hold it, breathe out. Do it a couple times, and now I'm calm, caring, and relaxed. I've connected my emotion center to my logic center, and now I can be a calm, caring person. I have now created space in my own individual life. All right. And then out of that, of course, there's the multiple bazillion things you can do. Read a book, all those different, self-education, all that kind of stuff. And whatever you decide, how big or small that slice of the pie is, you decide how that is. But bare minimum, You're creating that routine, you're creating that mobility, and creating that connection within myself, intimate, all right, space, within family, within my partner, within children, relationships, family, friends, and then creating an energizing space within my workplace, within my career, job, business, whatever that is, utilizing all of those. I mean, think about it. Think about breathing even just for a second. All right, I just talked about the individual side. But if I'm with my partner and we're having a little bit of a disagreement, I mean, one of the biggest polarized topics right now that I'm noticing beyond the obvious norms, all right, that are happening right now, but I'm talking about things like stats. Oh my gosh, I have never seen people argue about stats more. It creates a polarized thing. Well, it's all conspiracy. It's all, no, it's true. It's all true. And I'm like, I'm not here to say whether it's right or wrong. I'm just here to say it's created a lot of tension and conflict within some relationships. And I'm going, take a moment, step back and breathe, connect brain again, you know, don't fight, flight, or freeze. Connect that part so you become calm and caring again, and continue on then with your discussion and communication with each other in your connection.
That is so great. We use that too, right? Sometimes it's just like breathe, Jennifer, breathe.
Exactly. Hey, in the workplace,
Yeah.
maybe you got an interview, maybe you have that meeting. Am I going to get laid off or not? Whatever. Maybe it's just an ongoing business meeting. Maybe you have to do the presentation. Okay. Well, breathe, connect that part. So you're not going there, hey guys, how you doing? My, you know, how's it going? You know, same thing. I have to do that. I got to practice what I preach, right?
Yeah.
You know, hey guys, my name's Jeremiah. I'm going to talk about breathing today and how to create. Whoa, who is this guy? Now, sometimes out of passion, absolutely, you get excited. But at the end of the day, it's like, hold on, relax, stay calm, stay cool, you know.
That's so good. And I loved your hand sanitizer. I remember when we worked together, I don't know if we had like courses on how to do hand sanitizer.
Oh, yes, we did actually.
And we
That's
actually,
right.
I think, failed once. So it's like, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
But but I love that about control too. So I love about calendars because I love my calendar. And that is one thing that I did. I had a period in my life where I quit my full-time job and went back to school. And I remember like just making that calendar every morning. And I love what you said about putting fun things on. So for me, I have to schedule riding my horse in, right? Because that's the one of the things that really relaxes me. But if I know if we don't schedule it in, it's not going to happen.